Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host of YouTube, the sign off and imitate never duplicated superstar team, Vicious and Raw. We're gonna go over Raw this week. Was in the Thunderdome, and well, it's kind of unfortunately got to start on a bad note. The news broke as of Saturday night, December 26th. Brodie Lee, formerly known as Luke Harper, passed away. It's sad that he's here. Really, there's no other way to really put that. The fan in me is sad because I'm not going to get a chance to see him perform again, but the father in me is more so heartbroken for his wife and his kids because they're never going to get a chance to see their husband and their dad ever again. And it's always sad when you hear somebody go. There's really no other way around that, you know. And I don't know on how else to put it. My heart's broke for him. My heart's broke. My condolences to his family. That's about the best I can say on the matter. Going to try and move forward. Before we get into this week, we're going to switch gears like we always do. Go into last week, talk about the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. Well, it was on Christmas Day. It was a special Christmas episode, if you will. And honestly, the only two big highlights for me on it were excuse me, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens started out with a banger, started the show with a banger steel cage match. I fucking loved it, and it ended in such a great way. Jey Uso came down and actually handcuffed Owens to the chain link fence, just short enough to where his feet were like dangling like that right onto the floor, like he could if he was just an inch or two closer, and it was really cool. 10 get you 20, we're probably going to get another rematch at Royal Rumble, which honestly I have no problem with whatsoever. If not, then maybe we may wind up seeing Jey Uso finally getting a challenge again for the Universal title. I'm just throwing it out there, possibilities. Also, the big highlight from SmackDown was Big E challenged Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title, and Big E won. Huge congrats to him. The only gripe that I had was, honestly, it was a Christmas episode, so obviously it was taped in advance because, you know, as much as wrestling fans say they want WWE to do different, to do this and do that and do that. You know, the second they start to go and try and do something a little different, like a few years ago, they were saying on how they did an episode of Christmas of Monday Night Raw on Christmas Day. That was live. And oh my God, people were livid. They were fucking livid over it because of the fact of, oh, they're making them work Christmas Day. Motherfucker, you know how many other people are out there working fucking Christmas Day? It's not like just fucking Walmarts and Targets get to close down. No. No, motherfucker, there are people out there working at gas stations. There are people out there working all over the damn world that are still working on Christmas Day, unfortunately, because they don't get to go and sit on their ass and get their holly jolly on with their family. And in the you're in an entertainment business, you're in a live TV business. Heaven forbid you produce live TV in a live TV business. So, to keep those fuckheads happy, they pre-tape it, and of course, dipshits wanting to be dipshits decided to go and put out spoilers all over the fucking internet and put out there that Big E won it like 3 or 4 days in advance, which honestly, I can't understand them people. How the fuck do you get by feeling so superior wanting to post spoilers for shit? That's like saying that you saw the next Superman or Batman or some random superhero movie and you put out the spoilers for it. Well, what the fuck's that? Dude, nobody's gonna think you're cool, and no chick on the face of this earth is gonna go and say, oh my god, that's so hot, because you did that. Go home, grab some lotion, and go rub one out and then complain later. You know? Yeah. That's the only gripe I had about with it, was the fucking spoilers. However, this coming Friday, Big E's going to be doing his first title defense against Corbin. 10 get you 20. Sami Zayn's going to interfere and insist on a rematch, though. That's just personal perspective, but anyways, that's all for the SmackDown Rewind, so let's get into this week's show. It starts off with Drew McIntyre coming down to the ring, hyping up on how next week on Raw, it's the Legends episode, which, as much as ever... Here's the thing that... I've had a bit of a wild hair up my ass for the past couple days for various reasons, and this show's slightly cathartic because it helps me get out a lot of frustration. A lot of people have been bitching and moaning, oh, the ratings were at an all-time low, so what's their answer? They're doing the Legend show. Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiots. I want you to fucking think about this for a minute. Planning a show like this, they would have had at least several weeks in advance. They would have had this planned several weeks in advance. Not only that, they do a fucking Legend show every fucking year. I mean, for fuck's sake. And, you know, and it amazes me because the same people that are complaining about on how WWE is doing a Legend show absolutely have no problem whatsoever when AEW did their Tag Team Appreciation Night, which consisted of Ricky and Bobby, you know, coming down and getting their ass kicked by FTR, or on how they're perfectly okay with Sting being back in action as well. Nobody's batting an eye over that shit, but oh hey, you know, hey, WWE's doing something almost something similar, but in a different way like them. Oh, let's all fucking yell and boo at them. Just, Either way. Drew was hyping up for his match coming up next week. He's going to defend the WWE Championship against whoever wins between Sheamus and Keith Lee. And he was obviously a little mad at Jimmy because last week on the Raw before Christmas, they had a trios match, and this was the go-home show the fallout from TLC. I didn't mention this because it didn't have anything to tie in with the pay-per-view matches. But at the end of the trios match, Sheamus, boom, popped Lee with a bro kick, and then it ended with McIntyre yelling at Sheamus, what'd you do that for? I stuck my neck out to vouch for him. I told him you wouldn't do this kind of crap. What the hell's going on with you? And then it ended like that. Sheamus comes out saying, no, I know you're mad. I know you're mad. Just hear me out for a minute, though. Did I not keep my word? During that match, I did not lay one hand on him. You didn't. See, I didn't. But the match was done. And you know, listen, this has been a dream of ours for years, to get into the WWE, to fight for the championship. And when I beat Keith Lee, our dream's going to be fulfilled, man. Just you wait. And then out comes Keith Lee. And I love Keith Lee. I honest to goodness really do. I love the way he works. I love the fact that he's a big fucker, but he moves so smooth that you don't realize that he's a big giant fucker. And if I had to split hairs, probably his promo style, because he has this nice velvety tone, but he always reiterates with how he speaks like this. Almost kind of like, in a way, it kind of reminds me of my English teacher when I was a sophomore in high school. And it's just like, you know, he does kind of sound like him, but But either way, it was just, But Lee comes out, interrupts, talks about on how he's pissed off at Sheamus for what he did, and on how he's going to win, and he's going to challenge Drew, which got Sheamus hot, and then Drew steps in between. Oh, okay, boys, okay, easy enough. You know what we'll do? Why don't we bring a referee down here and we'll have you two do this match now instead of later. And then, as you see a ref coming down, Sheamus, he backs away, then boom, pops Lee with a bro kick. They cut the break and then they come back. And man, this was a banger match. Like I said, my favorite kind of matches to watch are when you got two big guys, two big brutes that can move, that are actually athletic. Not like just two giants and, you know, they're stiff as a board and it looks like you're slamming old LJN figures together. No, it's just, it's like a fucking, it's nice to see because that's the personally, that's the type of match I like to see. I like to see the two big giant athletic motherfuckers actually fucking work. And this was a damn good match. McIntyre was on commentary, hyping up both guys. Yeah, he wasn't really much of an afterthought. You know, he didn't contribute to a win or a loss or any distraction or anything at any point in time. He was just there, kind of like background noise. But, like I said, the match was really great. Match came to an end when Keith Lee, he wound up doing that double slap. They say he's the Grizzly Adams, and then boom, pop the Spirit Bomb, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So it's official. Next week we are getting Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, and it's going to be on the first Raw of 2021. Next up, we got The Miz going against Gran Metalik because this was from Fallout. God damn it! Fallout from a match last week's Raw that, as I said, you know, didn't really feel the need to. It didn't do nothing with it, you know. But yeah. So, Miz is going against Gran Metalik. Metalik was leading pretty much throughout the entire match. Miz got his shots in, but Metalik was pretty much leading the pace on it. And then Gran Metalik actually got the win when he hit a roll-up out of nowhere. And I know I've talked ad nauseum before on how I don't like roll-ups because I feel like they're cheap wins. However, while yes, I do feel like that, this roll-up did not actually feel like a cheap, we don't know what to do to make it a finish. Because of the fallout from it. You saw Miz sitting there disheveled like, no. I was a Mr. Money in the Bank. I was a former WWE champion. I've main evented WrestleMania. I lost to Gran Metalik of all people? What? And he had that kind of a reaction, which is what sold it. Which is why I was perfectly okay with it. Later on, you see Miz and Morrison sitting in the back, looking like they just saw a box of puppy dogs get set on fire and run over. And then out comes Adam Pearce, which, can we all just take a moment and admit they need to make Adam Pearce the WWE commissioner? instead of just a WWE official. I'm just saying. Adam Pearce comes over, says, holds the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand, and then Miz just says, oh what, you want to rub that I lost that in my face too? He said, and then Pearce, as much as I'd love to ram this into your face, I'm actually here to give it to you. Wait, what? Your lawyers made a valid argument. Morrison was the one who cashed in the contract, not you. The rules clearly state that the Money in the Bank winner has to cash in. Therefore, you're still Mr. Money in the Bank. So Miz then started jumping for joy, and much like a Mighty Python. And then there was much joy. Yeah, so Miz is back to being Mr. Money in the Bank. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Miz hold out until WrestleMania to do another cash in there, to do a cash in then. But either way, next up we got women's action. Dana Brooke, whew, good Lord Almighty, Dana Brooke, especially with Mandy. Whew. Mandy Rose and skin tight leather go together like peanut butter and chocolate. Did I say that out loud? Wait, can we take that out in post? Oh, fuck. Either way, Dana Brooke going against Shayna Baszler, and Shayna just pretty much was dominating in this match and working on Dana's arm. Probably the one thing that I have seen recently that I actually like, that I've been questioning ever since Shayna Baszler started working in NXT, was that stomp she does on the arm. Like when she gets the arm work like this, she's holding it down by their fingers, and then she jumps up, and then boom, lands right there. I get it, that's a dangerous move, it's supposed to take out the arm and all that, but all the time in NXT, never really saw people move the arm or roll out of the way. Just always thought, well, while they're in the air, well, why wouldn't they? Huh? Now we're seeing that, and I'm all for that because it adds a sense of realism. You know? It's like when you see all the guys hovering around outside for that one person to jump off the top rope. That wouldn't fucking happen in real life, and that takes me out of the damn match. Fuck, I hate that spot. Ugh. But, you know, if you see like somebody going to apply that kind of arm lock and then just move around like, whoa, 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 no, and wiggle out of it, there you go, that's real. I believe that. But either way, match eventually comes to an end when Shayna eventually gets the Karabuta clutch in on Dana, passes out, and then when Mandy comes in to check on her, then she goes and puts it in on Mandy, and then lets go and leaves. Next up we got Uncle Alan AJ Styles going against Elias. But wait, it's not just Elias, it's Elias with Jackson Ryker. Alright, look. As much as Just a Stupid Mark is an asshole, and he is, me and him can at least agree on one thing. Fuck Jackson Ryker Gunner. Fuck Gunner, man. Just, ugh. Now, this match came to be because they showed a backstage segment where Elias was playing his guitar, and then you hear pounding on the door, and Ryker answers, and then you see Omos and Styles come in. Styles starts barking up like crazy. What are you doing playing all that crap? You almost trying to listen to his Mozart, and you can't hear a damn thing because you playing and flapping all that stuff going around, sounding like garbage. And then AJ hit the line of the night, calling him and sounding like, you may think you sound all like Johnny Cash, but you're more like Johnny Trash. Which, perfect. And like I said, I got nothing against the man Elias. He's a hell of a talent. I just really don't like the damn gimmick because it reminds me of that goddamn neighbor I got that looks like a nasty ass hipster that hasn't showered in like 3 weeks. Ugh. But yeah. As far as this match goes, Elias, he was leading the pace of the match during it, but some cool spots that I saw that I took note of was at one point you saw AJ get knocked down on the outside. You saw Ryker storming over, getting ready to go over to him like, and then you just see Omos walk over just perfectly calm like, and then Ryker like he just saw a ghost, which I fucking popped for. I laughed my ass off on that. Like, oh, fuck, he just scared the shit out of him. And man, that was cool. I thought that was cool. It was almost just standing there like, all the while the ref's yelling at him to back away, and he's just like, and then stares back at Ryker, who's on the ground crawling back like, nah. But AJ eventually starts picking up some momentum and hits a phenomenal forearm, gets the win. So next matchup we got Ricochet against Mustafa Ali, and this is because of the set of matches Ricochet's been having over the course of the past few weeks against the members of Retribution. Ali cut a promo at the beginning, or before the match I should say. They did a little taped one saying, one man can't change anything. Ricochet, you say you're one and only, but this is where your volley is. You think one man can change it all, but it can't. Oh, but contraire, Mr. Ali, they can. If you don't believe that, just go back in the history books and look at the one man who caused World War I. One man was the cause of World War I, and that was the guy who shot Archduke Ferdinand. Learned that in history class. There's your history lesson, boys and girls. Never say I'm not educational in this product. Either way, Ali cut that promo saying one man can't change anything. I'm going to prove to you that at that case, and I will make you join Retribution. And this was a damn good match, had a nice pace. One thing I was surprised on, and I'm not saying this as a knock, but considering the two guys that are competing, surprisingly not a lot of high flying or like, oh my god, crazy spot, excuse me, spot fests and all. It was kind of surprising on that part. And I'm not saying that as a knock because, you know, people want to go, a lot of people like to think a lot of stupid shit, but honestly, it's not. But here's my thing. You want to do a lot of those fancy, high-flying 300 flips before you do a splash onto somebody? Okay, cool. But give me psychology and give me reasoning as to what leads to doing that. Don't just randomly throw it out there. That's my thing. But as far as the match goes, man, Ali, he was leading into the break. Ricochet built up some nice comeback. At one point, all the members of Retribution, Slapjack, T-Bar, which I swear T-Bar is a rib for a ring name, and Mace, they all get on the apron. Ricochet takes them all out one by one, and then, now because of doing that, eventually Ali, he starts building up some momentum again. They get a little bit of back and forth. Match comes to an end. Ricochet goes for a shooting star press, which again leads to the psychology as to why you're leading to that move. So yeah, that's understandable. He goes to a shooting star press, it's countered, and then Ali puts in a Koji clutch, chokes him out. At the end of the match though, Ali offers him one last time, are you gonna join? Ricochet then just looks and says, I will not join. And then hits a recoil and then gets the hell out of Dodge. So, yeah. Next up, we got another women's action. Charlotte Flair against Nia Jax. Charlotte's coming out. Oh, Charlotte comes out with my future third ex-wife, Asuka. And Nia Jax comes out with Shayna, which is rather interesting considering Shayna didn't come out with Nia earlier in her match. Either way, Nia wound up officially declaring herself to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. And before the match, now, as far as the match goes, Charlotte, she was leading up until the break. Right at the break, Nia wound up picking up. Nia wanted to do a roll up and had Charlotte's head, boom, hit the turnbuckle. And then they went to commercial. They come back. Nia, she's leading. She's in the lead. It's decent match between them two. These two girls got good chemistry with each other, And I know a lot of people shit on the idea of Nia ever since, because, call a duck and a spade. 2020 has not necessarily been her year, not like it's been anyone else's, but it's not necessarily been her best year, But name me one wrestler that's had a stellar year, that's had a full-blown stellar career throughout their entire career. Everyone's gone through shit, whether it's being a little accident-prone, sometimes being a little overly stiff, or anything like that. That kind of shit happens. It comes with the job. Comes with the job description, unfortunately. Hate to use the term, well, it ain't ballet, but well, shit, this ain't ballet. Match comes to an end when Charlotte, she's applying the figure 4 on to Nia, and just as she does, Shayna Baszler comes in, boom, pops into Karabuta, starts choking her. Asuka comes in, breaks that up, and then Shayna and Nia run off, and then the ref officially declares Charlotte Flair the winner. Now we come to the last match of the night. The New Day, Jeff Hardy, and Riddle going against the Hurt Business, which, I'm not gonna lie, as much as the Hurt, man, and I swear, I preach this every fucking episode, as much as the Hurt Business are meant to be heels, I can't help but fucking feel like, man, those are the coolest motherfuckers on this goddamn show. Because growing up, man, you'd see them dudes wearing the suits, you'd be like, see them dudes? You don't fuck with them dudes. Those are the dudes, if they're unbuttoning the jacket, they take it off and roll up the sleeves, man, you better be ready, because you're going to get put on the ass end of an ass whooping. And that's what these dudes are. And I fucking love them for that. And Riddle, he was the punching bag at the start, and then he was a punching bag at the start for a short little stint, and then the faces started to pick up the pace and lead, and Riddle was once again the punching bag post break, and then Kofi got the hot tag. He started cleaning up house, and then it eventually turned into a big schmaz, and then Gaga, everyone was everywhere. The match eventually comes to an end with Lashley and Jeff Hardy in the ring. Lashley winds up popping in the full Nelson, making Jeff tap. It wins, and then Riddle gets a cheap shot in on Lashley. So, now I should note, before the match started, Lashley declared himself for the Men's Royal Rumble. So, given that he declared that, and then that Riddle thing, my personal guess, Riddle's going to win the U.S. title. Lashley would win the Royal Rumble and then challenge Drew McIntyre. That may be personal. You could say that's fantasy booking or armchair quarterbacking. That's my personal prediction now. So now the closing segment of the night. It comes because earlier in the show, Alexa Bliss was on her lovely little playground, Alexa's playground, sitting on her swing, talking about on how she wanted Randy Orton to come on out. Randy wasn't, and then they show on the Tron, Randy Orton is at the Firefly Funhouse. And he kicks Huskus the pig, throws the buzzard at Abigail, and then rips Rambling Rabbit's head off. So not only has Randy Orton committed arson on a live pay-per-view, he's now murdered a rabbit on live television. Shame on you, Randy. Shame on you. But then, after all that, Alexa says, I challenge you to come out and meet me here later tonight. So they come out and you see Alexa Bliss. Oh, good Lord almighty, Little Miss Bliss. Woo, Little Miss Bliss coming out in that night, in that little black dress of hers, wearing a little mic in her ear, calling out, waiting for Randy Orton. Randy comes out. All right, I'm here. Where is he? Alexa says, he's not here. And then goes out of the ring, grabs a box, opens it up. It has a gas can and a book of matches. She pours a spot right on the ground and then a trail right to Randy. Hands him the matches, stands in the big giant puddle. Do it. I want to join him. And Randy's just like, not confused, but like emotionless. Like, do I do this? Do I not? And Alexa then starts talking about on how she wants to join him. She knows he enjoyed it. She wants him to do it. And then she makes a big circle around her. Begs him to do it. She still insists no. Then she says, screw it. Pops off the can, pops off the nozzle of the jerry can, dumps the gas all over herself, gets up to his face and says, do it. Set me on fire. Do it. And Randy then cuts a promo saying, you think I enjoyed doing that? You think I wanted to do that? Here's the thing. I knew what I had to do. But that doesn't mean that I enjoy it. And I'm paraphrasing, mind you, but Randy was pretty much saying he's got no quarrel with doing it. And it's not that he enjoyed doing it. He just knew he had to do it. Which is by definition, you know, speaking from an evil man myself, you know, I understand. I do shit there's shit that I gotta do on a regular basis I don't like. I still fucking do it because I'm a nasty son of a bitch and I still gotta. But anyways, it then goes, just as Randy, then out of nowhere, boom, the lights go out. And then it comes back on, Randy then, you see Randy strike the match. And again, much like I said last week, the matches that the Randy's using, it's white phosphorus ones. And I sat there and I thought about it. Why are they using white phosphorus? It can't be for dramatic effect, no. And then I realized white phosphorus matches are windproof. They're waterproof. So that's why, because they didn't want to run the risk of the match going out. So it makes sense then. So they just see Randy holding the match, seeing it burn, holding it, and then you hear the commentators yelling, no, 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 Randy, don't. And then boom, they cut the black. Perfect fucking ending right there. No different than you'd see on a TV show, man. Fucking brilliant. I absolutely loved it. That was great right there. I fucking loved it. I am actually really excited to see next week's episode, and I have not said that for an episode of Raw in quite a long time. So, with that said, folks, that is it for this week's video. So, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes if you can. Look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also, on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you got me on there from here. On my Twitter at Tim Vicious, son, and they got Creep John going. Also, thank you to Contributor Show LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of men, a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben. Make sure y'all check out his music. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool ass cats already on the Twitter. @SomeMulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, and Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.